Join me today and we'll make this roast beef with gravy recipe out of Taste of Home's 2002 Quick Cooking Recipe Book. Good morning, everybody. Today I thought we'd make the roast beef and gravy recipe from this Taste of Home Quick Cooking 2002. So you're gonna need, I'm cutting this recipe in half, but this recipe calls for 1 boneless beef sirloin tip roast, about 4 pounds, half cup flour divided, 1 envelope onion soup mix, 1 envelope brown gravy mix, 2 cups cold water, and then you serve it with hot mashed potatoes. So I'm gonna get this portion in the crock pot and then I'll make the mashed potatoes later this evening. I have this meat, I went to Sam's and bought in bulk, so I have this here. And the first step it says to do is to coat the meat in flour. So I'm just going to pull this out here. And because we are cutting this in half, I have just a 1/4 cup of flour, but it says to rub with half a cup of flour. So I'm just gonna use half of my 1/4 cup and just kind of sprinkle it all over the meat here. Rub it in. Now I only want to use half of this because the rest of it's going to go into the mixture with the brown gravy mix and the beefy onion soup mix. It just calls for regular onion soup mix, but I have that beefy onion and I figured it's beef, why not? Let's just use that. It'll be good. Okay, get this all rubbed in here. I hope everybody had a great weekend. We had a good weekend. It was very action-packed. Kids are back at school this morning. They have this week and then they're off for spring break all next week. We're not going anywhere, maybe just down to the zoo or, you know, some local fun activities. So I'm going to place this now into the crock pot, the meat. Okay. And then it says combine soup and gravy mixes and remaining flour. So we're just gonna toss the remaining flour right in there. And it calls for a full pack, so I'm just gonna use half of both of these since I'm halving this recipe. Put that in there. A smidgen more. Okay, and then the beefy onion soup mix. Let's do half of this as well. Okay, and then to your gravy mixes and the flour, we're gonna add 1 cup of cold water. I'll put the recipe in the description for you guys since I'm kind of not making much sense here halving this. So we're just gonna add the cup of water. I'm gonna stir that up. Get all these clumps out. This is such an easy recipe and it's gonna be amazingly yummy. I know I say it all the time, but I love my crock pot. It's such a lifesaver in the evening. And then yeah, I'll just get my mashed potatoes ready, heat up a bag of frozen veggies and call it good. So we're just gonna pour this over the meat there. And that's about it. So we're gonna cook this on low for 6 to 8 hours and then it should be ready. So this is what it looks like. So I'm going to just get this started and I'm gonna go run some errands. I am going to go take my dad grocery shopping and I will be back with you guys in a little bit. Alrighty, I am back. So we're gonna go ahead and peel these potatoes for our mashed potatoes that we're going to serve with our meat this evening. And get them all chopped up into littler pieces. It'll get softer quicker in the boiling water. I cut up about 5 or 6 potatoes for our family of 5. Fill that with water, and we're just going to get that boiling on the stove there. I boil them until they're fork tender, when I can stab a fork in, and then I just drain them. I make Reed Drummond's mashed potatoes. So I add cream cheese, butter, Lawry's seasoning, salt, and milk, and then salt and pepper, of course. But I just mash those by hand over the hot burner, just the potatoes. And then you can start adding in your other ingredients. I always add in the stick of butter first to get that starting to melt. I had just pulled it out of the refrigerator, so it was still hard. Get that mashed in there, add some milk. To moisten them up a bit. And then I added half of a package of cream cheese. Get that all mixed up really, really well. I find it's easier to use the masher to get the cream cheese and the butter mixed in, and then I'll switch over to a spoon here shortly. Just try to get as many lumps out as I can. I like them a little lumpy, just not too lumpy. Then we're going to add in some of the seasoning salt. That stuff is so good. I love it. It's so good in mashed potatoes. And then I just add some regular salt and pepper as well. And get that mixed up really, really well. These were still a little dry, so I added milk a few more times. Switch over to the spoon and make sure you get it all mixed in really, really well. And now it's time to serve it all up onto a plate. So I put some potatoes on the plate. I just heated up a bag of frozen mixed vegetables to go on the side with this. Get some of those on the plate there. And to those I just add a little bit of salt and pepper. It's so convenient to just pop those bags straight into the microwave and just have them ready. And then I got some of the beef and gravy. Just put it right there next to the mashed potatoes. And then I pulled a little bit of extra gravy out to drizzle onto the mashed potatoes. This was really, really good. The meat turned out tender. I will definitely be making this again. So make it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments and subscribe for more. Thanks, guys. See you next time.